Hey, Team Impact. Shooting a video here for lesson 4 out of chapter 1. It's on ratio tables. Just going to chat with you a little bit about the vocabulary here. We're going to get into the lesson. So if you're absent and watching this, kind of follow along with me in the reading here, and we'll go from there. Okay. So what we're going to be working on is a ratio table, and we're going to be doing a thing called scaling. And scaling means that you're taking essentially a ratio table and you're going to take it up. So if we look at this example right here, we have number of hours and lawns. Okay, 8 lawns takes us 14 hours. We're putting it into a ratio. Okay, and really it's a rate, all right, what we've talked about yesterday. And in this case, they scaled it down. They divided it by 2. And they took it down to the lowest term, 7 to 4. So 7 hours for 4 lawns. But then they gave us a number out here of 49. And they wanted to say, hey, what times 7 is 49? And of course, it's 7. And if you multiply the bottom by 7, you got to take the top by 7. So all 3 of these rates or ratios are equivalent. And that's what our core focus is today, equivalent ratios, scaling up, reducing, or scaling down. And the only way to get into it is to actually get into it. So let's go and take a look on page 42, okay? Let me blow this up just maybe a little bit. I can't do that. All right. We have a ratio table. We have allowances and number of weeks, $7 for 1 week. And really, we don't need a calculator for this. But it says Santiago receives an allowance, $7 every week. How much will we get after 4 weeks? Well, we could probably go directly there. But, if we went 2 weeks, 14. 3 times 3 is 21, times 4 is 28. So we scaled that up nicely. Or we could have just went 1 times 4 and 7 times 4, right? And a lot of times I'll do that as well. So after 4 weeks, he's got $28, right? $28. Okay, and they're not, of course, all that easy, right? Tanya runs 8 kilometers, 60 minutes. At this rate, because it's a rate, the comparison of 2 quantities, how long would it take for her to run 2 kilometers? Okay. So again, we could scale this down incrementally, divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2, divided by 2. Or I could have just went right there and divided it by 4 and divided it by 4. And bang, we could have got 15. So we're going to go with 15, right? 15 minutes is the answer. Okay. So again, not too bad. Still into it. All right. Lamika buys 12 packs of juice boxes on sale and pays total $48. Use the ratio table to determine how much she will pay to buy 8 more packs of juice at the same store. All right, so let's write down what we know. We know that it's $48 for a 12 pack, right? And what I'm going to do is, if how much will they pay to buy 8? So 8 of them. All right, we're looking for that number, okay? But I really don't have a way to get there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it down, okay? And I'm going to look for something that's comparable here. So what I mean is if I scaled this by 2 and got 6 and divided this by 2 and I got 24, that really doesn't help me because I can't get to there. All right, I could with a calculator, but there's an easier way to do it, okay? So what I'm going to do is pick a common factor of 3. And I'm going to divide both of these by 3, okay? And when I do that, all right, you're certainly welcome to use your calculator if you like. 12 divided by 3 is 4, okay? And 48 divided by 3, and if we take that divided by 3, you'll see it's 16. Now, how does that help me? Because 4 is very compatible with 8. So now I can scale that up by 2. I can scale that up by 2 and end up with $32. So by manipulating the numbers a little bit and scaling up and down, it can help us get to the end product there, right? Okay. So that's scaling in a nutshell. Let's continue on. Of course, all right, we have 1 through 5, okay, today, and I'm just going to circle those up right now. We have A and B, not C, okay, and then we have 6. So let's just get this done right now. Excuse me. And then we jump to a 9. Oops. Let's see here. 9. Apologize. And then 11. I think we're going to go odds here. 13, 15, and then 17 through 21. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Let's crank out a few problems here. Just kind of get you on the right path so you're in good shape here. All right, and I'll keep my calculator handy. To make 5 apple pies, you need 2 pounds of apples, 5 to 2. How many pounds of apples do you need for 20 pies? You could scale it up. I could take this to 10 and that to 4. Times 2 is 8. I could have went times 4 times 4. A lot of different ways to look at that. And there you have it. So how many pounds do you need? 8 pounds. 4 balls of wool will make 8 knit caps. How many balls of wool will Malcolm need if he wants to make 6 caps? Okay. So no real way to get from 8 to 6, so let's scale it down. All right, let's divide this by 2 and that by 2. Does that help us? No, it doesn't. So maybe we ought to erase and try another common factor. And another one would be 4. Divided by 4 is 1. Divided by 4 is 2. Now I can get there, right? Times 3 times 3. All right, and then we'll take 3 balls of wool. So you're seeing what we're getting into. It's trial and error at times, but also it's just common knowledge of multiplication facts. Before leaving to visit Mexico, Levant traded 270 American dollars and received 3,000 pesos. That's our rate. When he returned from Mexico, he had 100 pesos left. How much will we receive in exchange? Okay. So really, we could divide this down. Okay. So I know, and here's what I would do. I know these both end in a 0, so I'm going to divide them by 10. I'm going to make it a little bit more manageable, all right, and then go from there. Now, I also know that if I take 300 and divide it by 3, I get 100. So this was divided by 3. This divided by 3 is 9. And I knew 3 went into this because 2 plus 7 is 9, all right, and the sum of the digits rule. So that worked out well. So how many American dollars will you get? $9. On a bike trip across the United States, Rodney notes that he covers 190 miles in 4 days. Let's write that down. 190 in 4 days. If he continues at this rate, all right, use the ratio table to determine how many in 6 days. 6 days. Okay. Well, I put the 6 at the end, and I know these are both even. So what goes into any even number, you should say right now, 2. So if I divide this by 2, I get 2. And if I take 190 and divide it by 2, all right, you're going to get 95. Now, why did I do that? Because now times 3 scales it up, 95 times 3, and you end up with 285 miles biked. So 285 miles. Okay. So again, just a lot of trial and error, and certainly you can use your calculator. Let's take a look at the last one. All right. So this one's a little bit more involved here. A punch recipe that serves 24 people calls for 4 liters. 24 people calls for 4 liters of lemon lime soda. All right. 2 pints of sherbet. 4, 2, and 6 cups of ice. I just took those numbers and filled them right in. Complete the ratio table. I did. How much of the ingredients would you need for the identical first serves 12 people and then serves what? 36 people. So we're going to extend this ratio table this way. So all they've done is turn it and made it vertical. Okay. So Mentally, I know this is divided by 2, I get 12. So if I divide each of these by 2, I'm going to get an equivalent ratio. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we scaled that down by dividing it by 2. Now, if we multiply it by 3, we'll scale all of these up. We will. 12 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 and 3 times 3 is 9. And that takes care of 12 people and 36 people. Okay. So again, we've already circled up. You know what your homework is. That should have helped. Have a good day.